Aggressive military intervention of the United States. South Korea was one of the first countries to be influenced by Confucianism. Confucian culture pays attention to the respect of the upper and lower, the long and orderly. There's not much wrong with that in itself, but everything has a degree. To better control the army, South Korea has radicalized this ideology, emphasize absolute respect and absolute obedience to elders or authority. Korea was later colonized by Japan. Indoctrination of militarism. It was culturally developed before and after to be more deformed. Since 1910, Japan on the Korean Peninsula implemented colonial comrades for 35 years. During this period, Korean Army, all administrative powers are controlled by Japan. The Japanese Army during the Showa period emphasized loyalty and obedience. Soldiers must obey orders from their superiors absolutely. Japan applied this concept to the Korean Army. Establish a high-level plan. A military system based on obedience and loyalty. In addition, the Japanese Army during the Showa period was characterized by strict military discipline. It's known for its many officers convinced that discipline can be maintained through corporal punishment and violence. When managing junior soldiers, frequent use of violence and corporal punishment. Although Japan was defeated in the war, South Korea re-established its own independent government. But in the early days of post-war army building, it has absorbed a large number of people who have been in Japan, serving Korean military officers. These officers took Japanese military training and management experience, brought to Korea together, and the hierarchy, obedience culture, violence management, etc. It's been preserved. The United States' aggressive military intervention, it distorts it further. The South Korean military has a strong attitude towards the U.S. military stationed in South Korea. Complex and contradictory mindset. They rely on the military protection provided by the U.S. military. On one hand, on the other hand, they also feel humiliated and dissatisfied with the limitations of their sovereignty. June 13, 2002. A South Korean schoolgirl was killed by an armored vehicle of U.S. troops stationed in South Korea. Car run over. The two Americans who committed the crime, but betrayed innocence after the fact. This incident shocked the whole of Korea. The fallout has continued to this day. Every year around June, all over Korea, in memory of these two female students, a large-scale anti-Korean march broke out against the U.S. military. Demonstrations, but they didn't help. American soldiers are still in South Korea. It's a real person. And the conclusion of these crimes, mostly U.S. military involvement. Serious criticism of the soldiers involved. Victims in South Korea receive neither a penny in compensation. I didn't hear an apology. The soldiers of other countries have committed numerous crimes on their own territory, wanton oppression of the people, but the South Korean soldiers are powerless. This not only disappointed the public, soldiers themselves are humiliated. Many South Korean soldiers can only express this emotion, transforms into violence and control over recruits. Some people may feel very confused when they see this. South Korea is a developed country. It has long followed in the footsteps of Europe and the United States, raised the banner of freedom and democracy. Such a country. Why is it strong? What about the anachronistic system of military service? The Korean Peninsula is today's world. The few areas where tensions have persisted for a long time. In order to deal with the million-strong army that the general is eyeing, South Korea must have sufficient defense capabilities. But Korea has a lot of people, only over 50 million. Remove the old and weak. There are only a few people who are suitable for joining the army. If you volunteer for military service, I'm afraid I can't even pull a security team out. Only compulsory military service for all can be implemented. The current population of South Korea ranks 28th in the world, but the army is the 6th largest in the world, with nearly 700,000 active duty military personnel and 285,000 reservists. But here comes the army-size fashion. The treatment can't keep up at all. South Korea has always attached great importance to equipment, despise people. Most of the military budget is used to buy the United States new equipment. The total cost of clothing and food. In the long run, it only accounts for about 6% of total military expenditure. Even these tight logistical support funds. It has to be engraved layer by layer. Good weapons to buy. Officers should enjoy. Then you can only suffer a little bit, soldier. A survey conducted in 2020 revealed that the South Korean military budget, meals per soldier, only 3,001, about RMB 15. 3,001 at Korean prices. I'm afraid even kimchi tubes are a luxury. Often a variety of vegetarian dishes, and the same hot sauce soup. Even the most elite airborne troops. A few years ago, someone broke out that the daily cuisine is kimchi. Vegetarian food is not much different from prison food. Poor treatment and low benefits. The training intensity is still very high, plus the tensions with the North. You may be going to be cannon fodder at any time. Soldiers, God's state is naturally not very good. I have to vent often. This is also bullying within the military, one of the reasons for the repeated behavior. But why doesn't the Korean government solve it? The South Korean government has long recognized that excessive hierarchies and the dangers of a bullying culture, harming and also trying to reform, but little effect. From ancient times to the present, for any country, military reform is very difficult because the army itself is relatively closed, well-structured organization. It has a different value system from ordinary society. Behavior violations and organizational structure. The army is also a country, the most powerful institution of violence. The risk of reform is much higher than other. Very few people are willing to step into this minefield. On the other hand, the Korean government has. The military has no de facto control. The South Korean army was built and trained by the US military. This led to the South Korean government and military formed to sets, independent system, plus the limitations of temporary command. The South Korean government has very limited jurisdiction over the military. So, the government's attempt to reform the military is a joke. Like some time ago, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol announces emergency gag order. It's because of him. Overestimated the government's ability to control the military. He thought he was the commander of the army himself. Is his confident? That's how he's going to run his army. Result: President Yoon is caught in a dilemma. The embarrassing situation played out on the international stage. Some abstract farce. Due to various phenomena existing in the military, many young men in Korea today escaping military service by various means. According to the Korea Military Manpower Administration, every year about 10,000 young Koreans between the ages of 18 and 25 emigrate to other countries. A considerable number of them are directly. He relinquished his Korean citizenship after the age of 30. Some of them will also exchange for Korean citizenship. Needless to say what the purpose of these people is, but livable. Changing nationality is not a matter of consciousness. Families who can escape military service without harm through this means, rich or expensive. But what about ordinary people? There are also ordinary people. Methods such as manufacturing defects, pretending to be crazy and acting stupid, etc. And even if forced into the army, there are also many people who try their best to escape, even if you face severe punishment for it. In The Pursuit of Korean Drama Deserters, there is a description like this. A soldier was tortured and escaped. After being caught, he asked the pursuers, "Why should I be punished?" It was the other party who did the wrong thing. You know all about the violence. I just sat there and didn't do anything. Although the government has long been aware of this, but the road to reform is difficult. The Korean people are eager to see. Korean youth are skating on thin ice. When will the nightmare wake up? Alright, that's all for today's video. Please leave a message below. Share your feelings with us. If you like this content, don't forget to like it, favorite and share with your friends. See you next time.